Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this out there on the World Wide Web. This is Jeremy Geelan for SYS-CON TV, here with Jelle Frank van der Zwet from Interxion. We're so glad to see you back, Jelle.
Thank you, Jeremy. It's good to be back.
Well, you say that, but it depends how well you guys have been doing. The biggest company that, never mind, I have difficulty pronouncing, I haven't heard of, and you keep getting bigger. So what's happened since I saw you last? Just 6 months ago, all sorts of things, I'm guessing.
Yes, a lot of things are happening. Like, we're continuously expanding. We recently announced a new data center in Copenhagen and our 8th data center in Frankfurt. So we continuously expand within our footprint in Europe, and we now have 34 data centers.
So the just beat goes on. Copenhagen is my home from home. That's why I reacted. That's a wonderful thing.
It's a wonderful thing. And even the best thing there is that our entire data center there is now cooled by seawater.
Very, very Danish.
Yes, it's very Danish, but it's also very good for the environment. So we keep on getting greener and greener as well.
Now here's the question, because I know people are saying this. They're saying, so I get it, Interxion is on fire, really expanding. But is there some sort of puzzlement that how come if cloud computing is up there, it requires all these data centers? Do you actually have to deal with that question of people who say, yes, I didn't know there was hardware involved?
Well, the first thing is that it's obviously logical that you need to place it into a location where you got the power and the cooling. But that's just where it starts. It's also, specifically in Europe, about proximity and the fact that you need to store certain data within the country borders. So one of the reasons that we've been doing so well is that we focus on what we do good. So we're a cloud and carrier neutral data center. That means we don't compete with our customers. We don't offer cloud or connectivity ourselves. Those are our customers. So we got over 450 carriers within our data centers, and we got a little over 400 cloud providers, which are the service providers and the systems integrators.
I like what you said. So there are other rivals who would be doing their own thing as well as hosting someone else.
Sure. And what we kind of believe in that it doesn't stop at being cloud and carrier neutral. You also got to embrace what's happening in the market. So Amazon, which has a huge amount of their own data centers, we recently launched Amazon Direct Connect in all of our 34 data centers. Because we know that not only our customers but also enterprises will store some of their workloads in Amazon and will use other kind of environments. And other companies within our footprint, like Cloud Sigma, offer a similar kind of connectivity options. So that's becoming a really, really big thing for our community.
Now, you mentioned in passing that, with the 34 data centers, one of the things you're now configured to observe data residency rules. Is that one of the things you think that makes Europe different from anywhere in the world? I mean, it's still a lot of different countries, and if we're going to have like sovereign clouds, we need you rather than someone else, maybe.
Definitely, but that also has to do with the fact that we're right on the interconnection point. So at my presentation, I showed a map where you see that all the social networks come together and how the usage that is in the European market. And all the spots that light up, we have data centers. So we're right at the core where all these networks, whether they are for cloud or social media or finance, come together. We have our data centers. And we start seeing communities of interest arise on those locations. And basically, for us, it's not just building and operating best-of-class data centers. It's also about making sure that that community can benefit and that everyone within the community has the opportunities to grow their revenue.
Well, that's always a good thing. How does that fit in? Talking of revenue, it makes you think of America, and here we are. How does North America then fit into all of this, from your point of view and from the point of view of the guys here?
Well, I can share some very interesting insight into that. So what we did is that, what we found is that a lot of the analyst firms push a lot of data towards us, and we felt like we needed to get some really interesting data out of that. And if you look at, first what we did was, if you look at cloud, and you compare that to the incumbent market, which is managed hosting and dedicated hosting, cloud was only a small portion of that entire market. It is the fastest growing portion, but a lot of the infrastructure services are still delivered by the incumbent providers of dedicated and managed hosting. Now, when you look at that at that cloud part, a lot of the revenue comes from Europe. It's about 23%, and more than 60% is done in the US. But if you look at who makes that revenue in Europe, 88% is done by American companies. So the growth potential for the European incumbent operators is huge if you compare that to the market. On the other hand, the US and companies from the US are still driving this market, even in Europe.
Those are statistics that I wasn't aware of. I know you're tweeting a lot at the moment. I know you're linking to some of that data. So people, how can they follow you on Twitter, Jelle?
Well, they can follow me on ZWAT. And I got my blog at Cloud Boulevard with the hyphen between Cloud and Boulevard. And a lot of this interesting information can be found there.
There you are. If I were you, I would definitely follow him on Twitter. And then, of course, go to the Interxion site and see what's going on there. And we'll see you in November, I hope.
Absolutely.
See you both. I mean, see you both. See you all. I meant you and the viewers. Thank you for watching out there on the World Wide Web. And thank you, Jelle Frank van der Zwet, for speaking with us on SYS-CON TV.